Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, and this is Multifamily Unplugged. Glad that you are here this morning. And if you are new to the show, please make sure that you like us, love us, and smash the subscribe button. Hey, I can't believe it's the end of the year already. Here we are, December. 50 of these Saturdays have blown by already, and we have just been able to continue to bring good content to you on Saturday morning. Great guests, and I have another one for you here this morning. But how's your year finishing up? I bring that out because I want to know, have you been strong? Are you finishing strong? Did you keep your commitments throughout the year? How did your planning go, your goal setting go, and did you reach your goals? Did you achieve what you were trying to achieve? And how are you setting yourself up for 2024? Let me just mention that December 28th, we are doing our annual planning and goal setting session. I have my planning and goal setting guide is out. You could DM me. I'll send you a copy of it. But love to have you join us for 60 minutes to just talk through goals, goal setting, business planning. I use a business planning system called a 135 that gets used by a lot of major corporations in the country. And I have found it to be very effective with my coaching clients and in my own business, building strategies and systems and being able to achieve the goals that you set for yourself. So if you are available at that time, don't hesitate to register. DM me. I'll send you the link for that. Hey, if you are out on YouTube this morning, please smash the subscribe button. We're always bringing great guests, new content, new information for you to learn from. If you are on Facebook, join our community at Multifamily Unplugged, where there's a lot of networking going on and a lot of information. And you're going to see all the new things that we're going to be doing in the coming year. So glad that you're here. My guest today, and buckle up for this one, JJ Hadley, BAB Investments from Wyoming in the multifamily business. Let's bring JJ in. Hey, good morning.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you? Good to
Pretty
see
good.
you.
Thanks for
I,
thanks for having me.
I know that we're both in each other's email streams, and I see your stuff all the time, and I know you see mine, and
Right.
um, it's been a while. So glad to finally connect, though.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, so you're in Wyoming. What's the weather like out there right now?
It's snowing as we speak.
Is it really? How
Yeah,
much?
it's been pretty cold. Nothing accumulation right now on the ground, but it's coming this way.
Yeah. Have you first snowfall this year? Or?
Yeah, it's about the third one actually. Nothing major, but I'm about 180 miles south of Jackson Hole, Yellowstone, all that. So I heard last night they got about 16 inches of snow. So it's
Wow.
coming.
Are you a skier?
Yeah, I'm a snowboarder.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
So uh, I've always heard and always wanted to go to Jackson Hole. I've heard that it's like one of the best places in the country.
Yes, sir. Yep, I highly recommend it.
You have to get out there one of these days.
Good nice Tetons.
Yeah. So I always kick my show off, JJ. I ask my guests, in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
One word for personally, be a family man. I love my family and spend a lot of time with my kids, and professionally, as a go-getter.
Nice. Good for you. And have you always been that way, or is that something that shifted for you in recent years, or?
No, I've always been that way. The family, the family's always close to me, making sure they always come first. And then the professional side is that my dad always taught me that you got to work hard to get far in this life, and that's what we've always done. I in the multifamily world, I see myself as an asset manager because I like to be more hands-on, and that's what I've always done in my life. Before this, I worked at a trona mine here locally for 10 years, and so I recently just stepped out of my W-2 job a couple of years ago, doing multifamily full time.
So say it again. What were you doing in your
I
W-2?
was a machinist. I work at a trona mine. It's a trona is a rock that's the mine here. They bring it up from underground, 800 to 1,000 feet underground. They mine it, they bring it underground, and then they make soda ash out of it, which is like baking soda. It's in glass, detergents, toothpaste, cat litter. They make a lot of stuff out of glass. Is their number one producer.
Wow.
Chemical. So I overseen a lot of the assets on the mine itself, and kept the pumps running, and worked in a shop there.
You know, it's interesting. I swear every time I have somebody on, I learn something new, and hey, I'm not, I'm not a young kid anymore.
Right.
And I grew up not too far from a couple of quarries. And I always just kind of thought that, they just dig rock out of there. But you're really saying that, hey, when they dig down, they're really getting some specific kind of rock and
Right.
product that they actually use. That's interesting.
Yeah,
So
it's a geological rock. It's like 80 to 100 million years old, down 800 feet to 1,000 feet underground, and it's very hard. And so they've got to mine it with a big miner, and then they bring it up top and they crush it. They put chemicals in it. But now that they're starting to do a new solution mine, they're going to drill with drilling rigs, and that's what they're building right now outside of our community right now. That's why they're expanding so much. They're going to drill down and then pump steam down, and then pump it a little bit as a liquid now instead of a rock. So they'll liquefy it underground itself.
so how big of a town do you live in there?
It's about 30,000 people.
Okay, so is everybody like work? Is that what everybody does in the town?
I would
Work
say
there?
over 50-60% of the people that live in this this town have some shape or form family member working at the petroleum mines. That's a huge industry here. We have a little bit of oil field, some other small industry, but most of it's the mining, some coal mines, that kind of stuff. But most of it's petroleum.
So what got you involved in real estate or the multifamily business? Talk a little about your history in that.
Sure. So, like I said, I just I've always had a passion for real estate. Just didn't know how to get started. One summer, my business partner Brett, he lives in Dallas Fort Worth. He came up here, was traveling. We were sitting out in the backyard, and I just told him, like, I see more than just going to a W-2 job every day. There has to be more out there. And he's like, well, you've always liked real estate. Why don't we buy some real estate together? And so that's what we did. We started smaller multi-families here locally in Wyoming, since I was here local, and I could you like using my hands. I was managing them myself. We bought 10 units in 2020, and we kind of ran out of cash. We used some of our savings that we had up, and we're like, all right, well, there's got to be a way to scale here. And so we actually joined the Brad Sumrock group in Lives, and we heard a lot about him, and about how you could scale and do syndications. And that's how we got into the multifamily. We went through his course, and he kind of taught us how to buy the multifamilies and get going. So that's what we did. We bought our first 60 unit in 2022, and then kind of just scaled from there. We got some units up in Nashville, Clarksville area, some in Georgia, just kind of scaled it from there, and we're just going to keep growing.
And do you have a market that you really like more than another? Or?
Dallas Fort Worth, we like it. We think, we always try to go to markets that have a tailwind, and we think that's it's really growing down there. I don't know the numbers, but they're growing, thousands of people a day moving into that area. We love Florida. We've got a couple short-term rentals down in Florida. We also do that side of our business as well. But, the way the insurance and everything is going right now, we've got to get back from there.
Yeah. I know our insurance has killed us on our assets in Florida. It's just, it just wipes out your cash flow,
Right. Yeah.
And then you raise rents and people scream because now you're a rich landlord, but they don't understand that you got everything going out the other end too. So
that's right. But yeah, Dallas Fort Worth, we have boots on the ground. That's where my brother lives. We just got a lot of partners that like that area, so that's our primary area. But we really like that Clarksville, Nashville area up there too. So
okay. Yeah, that Tennessee market has been warm. It's been a warm market for a while. Now it's heating up, or has heated up the last couple of years. So,
yes.
What's your? So I know that you work in. You kind of operate in a space of 60 to 150 units. What's the competitiveness in that space? Is there a lot of competition? A lot of people looking for deals?
Yeah, and it's just, that's just where we like to stay. I feel like we're, not newbies in this space, but it's somewhere we feel comfortable where we can raise the capital. We haven't really experienced anything large yet. We want to get into, a larger unit, but we're still in the growth phase right now in our business.
Yep.
And so raising capital has been a huge, issue this last couple of years. And so that's where we like to stay. It's easy to find property management. There's a lot of deals in that area. Class C, Class B, that's where we're at.
Yep.
But we're willing to, look at larger and even go up different classes. It's just going to take some time to get there.
So your buy box, what else do you look for in your buy box? B property, C property?
Yeah, we like to say, C plus properties. We'll do B minus. We like to keep a median household income above 50,000. We like to have it within a certain amount of school district, churches that, the neighborhoods matter a lot. Like I said, Class C. We like Class C with the multifamily value add, where you can punch in the equity and the appreciation.
So let's talk about the capital raising efforts these days. What you said it's difficult. What's that been like for you? Where are you? Where's your streams of those people coming that you're building your book of business with?
Sure. So my brother is an Air Force grad, and he has a lot of military connections. So he's a lot of multifamily. He's much of in our business. I'm kind of like the asset manager, portfolio manager, take care of the properties. He's more of capital raising, going on podcasts, going on masterminds, joining that kind of stuff and building the capital raise side. So a lot of his connections are through the military. A lot of my connections are just, local miners that I've worked with, spreading the word locally here. Like I told you before the podcast, we knocked down a smaller, a multifamily motel. It was a motel, but we converted it over to basically long-term stays. So it's just, we JV'd it. We didn't syndicate it, but a lot of that, the partnerships and everything came locally from investors that I have here. So that's how we pretty much run our business.
Okay. Who's your partner?
Brett Hadley, my brother.
Okay. Your brother. Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. And so I know you're part of the Brad Sumrock group. Being part of Brad's, I know his community's kind of close knit in that. How's that going within that community for, finding people to partner with or raise capital through?
Yeah, so raising the capital through, it's not so much raising the capital, it's mostly just finding general partners to work with. That's how most of our partners that we've dealt with on the 60 unit in Fort Worth, they were all through the Sumrock group. We have partnered outside of Sumrock group on the Tennessee property. We just found them through, I think I met you through Michael Blanc. We at the conference down there. We just go to conferences and we just found, certain individuals that were looking for help and needed help taking things down. So we don't necessarily have to stay with Sumrock. But the community is good. It's done well. We're looking outside of there now and trying to grow in other areas, and look for other mentors and just keep building our partnerships other places too.
Nice, good for you. And what do you so we know in the multifamily business there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of things that have to get done, through the process of closing a deal, but everything from finding a deal. What part of that process are you really good at and you specialize in? What part of the process is your brother good at and does he specialize in?
Sure.
Are you ready to skyrocket your investment portfolio and leave a legacy? Are you tired of inconsistent returns received in the stock market? Do you think that it may be time you take a look at alternative investment options? Passive investing in multifamily real estate could just be that option for you. With no tenants, trash, or toilets to take care of, but providing a solid return on an annual basis that outperforms traditional investing, including monthly and quarterly returns along the way. These lower risk, secure assets are a sure hedge against inflation. If you want to learn more about these types of opportunities, you can email me directly for a 15-minute consultation to see if you qualify. Just email me at mike@mikemorawski.com.
So I love the asset management side. I know a lot of people don't, but I like running the business plan. I'll source deals. I don't like to underwrite deals. I will if I have to. I know enough just to get by with the underwriting side, but we like to find someone that has that expertise. I don't like to sit in front of the computer and just look at deals and underwrite deals all day long. But I love taking the deal once we close the deal and oversee the property manager, run the business plan, making sure we're doing all the multifamily renovations, continuing to, make the NOI as high as we can. I love doing that. I love forcing the appreciation. My brother, he loves to talk to people. He loves podcasts. I'm not that kind of guy. You asked me to be on here and I was like, all right, we'll do it. But I'm just not that guy to go out and just promote podcasts and do that and talk to people. He's more the front runner. He's a really good speaker. He likes to go out and promote it. So that's what he specializes in.
Well, make sure you connect us, because
Sure.
I'll have him back on too.
Absolutely.
We'll have him on next year again too, and see where you guys are at that point. But
Nice.
you know what? I just think that it's great. It's great content and it's great exposure for everybody, and I think that, it helps you, keep a face out there and help build your business. So,
Oh, yes.
what are you guys working on right now?
So we've got a 60 unit that we made it to the best and final. We're actually finalizing that right now. Offers are due on Monday for the best and final on that.
Where's that one at?
It's in Fort Worth. We own one in Fort Worth, a 60 unit, and this is 2 blocks away from that one. So it was ideal because we could share property management and maintenance on that property. So we'd have 120 units in that same neighborhood. So we're trying to knock that deal down right now.
Nice. And where did that, are you sourcing deals through brokers or on your own, or how are you sourcing deals?
Yeah, this came from a broker that we know, like, and trust there in the DFW area with GREA. So
okay.
He knew that we owned that 60 unit right there, and he knew that this would be perfect for us.
Yeah, nice. Good for you. So one of the things I know is that there's a technique or a system that I think Brad really touts it is, the back of the napkin evaluation. And so when you're looking at a deal for the first time, broker sends you an offering memorandum across the desk. How are you looking at that in a short 5-minute period to see if you want to take it to the next level and blow it up in your underwriting tool? So
the first thing we look at is we do the same thing that you asked before. What's your criteria? It's got to meet that bottom line criteria of the median household income. Where's it at? There's a certain neighborhoods that we won't buy in, and so that's the first thing we look at. And then we're just going to use that formula that Brad taught on the back of the napkin of the NOI. It's got to be a certain percentage that we have in our formula that we figure out. And if it doesn't meet that, then we just won't move forward. There's no reason wasting time on that deal if it doesn't meet that criteria.
So when you're talking about NOI, it's got to be at least 50% or below?
Correct.
And then from just looking at that, then helps you make a decision whether or not you're going to go forward on that?
Yeah, we'll just make a decision if we're going to, start getting more involved with the broker, ask for more better financials, send it to our underwriting team and see if we're going to, spend more time on it. If it doesn't even meet the bottom criteria, then we're not going to waste our time on that deal.
Yeah.
This last year, a lot of those deals haven't met that, with the prices haven't been, the sellers, just the prices haven't been there. We haven't got a whole lot of stuff to really pencil out this year among a lot of syndicators, but this is the time to buy. I think that it's starting to turn. Interest rates are starting to drop, and we're starting to see some prices come down on a lot of properties.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people are forced to sell right now with their bridge debt coming, due, and it's a time to buy.
I've been seeing, it's been interesting lately is I've been seeing deals coming back on the market again. So like we might have looked at something a year ago, it didn't pencil out, but it's back on the market again.
Yeah, we're seeing that too.
Yeah, I keep all my own old underwriting so that I can go back and look and say, I looked at this before and here's what it looked like before and here's where I think it is now. And it really kind of gives you a good comparison.
Correct.
So,
yeah, it's funny you say that because one of our partners on the deal that we're buying now, he was on the webinar and had all the information from the previous sellers. So we went back and we kind of compared where it is now and see if they did what they said they were going to do with their business plan, and he knew what they had to sell the price for. So it's good to do that, to keep all that.
Yeah, for sure. What, so a little bit more about your team. So how many other people on your team? Are you guys all part of the general partner team, or is that just you and your brother?
Yeah, me and my brother, we own BAB. We'd like to, bring some other partners on and be under the BAB name or even another name. We're just not there yet. Most of our partners have their own business, and we just basically we partner up as a partnership to take down an apartment complex under our different businesses. But that's our main goal, is to, find an underwriter, an acquisition guy, project manager, asset manager full-time, and then just under the BAB umbrella, basically, and build a team that we can just go out and buy under the BAB name. We've talked to different partners that, inside and outside of Sunrock that want to do that. It's just a matter of getting it structured right.
Yeah, interesting. Good for you guys. Well, on the raising capital, do you have any systems or tools that you use to attract people to your, to your website or to your community? What are you guys doing to attract capital?
So we joined the Smart Syndicator with Brandon Wong, and he owns a CRM that we started doing our marketing through him. And that has helped a lot with our email campaigns, our social media. We've got some ebooks to send people to our website. And so that's pretty much what we do right now. We do attend a lot of the conferences and meet good people, but I think this year we're going to, kind of pivot away from most of I think we've got enough people now that we've surrounded ourselves with general partners. Now we got to start focusing on limited partners. So my business partner and I have decided that we're going to start, maybe get outside of real estate, the conference itself, and maybe start going to some like car shows or something that attracts accredited investors, something that we could spread our business that way this year.
Well, that's interesting. I'm always looking at other things to go to, and I never thought about a car show. Yeah. But God, cars are, especially vintage cars or muscle cars,
That's right.
Cars are so expensive that, people obviously have some money.
Yes.
So when I think back, when I was younger and a couple of the cars that I had, God, why didn't I keep those? They'd
have been worth some money, right?
Yeah, right. Especially I had an Olds 442 convertible 68. That was a beautiful car. And nice. God, I sold that. Where do you see the market at right now? Where do you see the market going?
So I see the market right now, it's starting to do a small pivot. I've seen that Freddie just lowered interest rates again a little bit this morning. And so I think it's going to change. It's been a little tight, been a little rough going in, but I think interest rates are going to start dropping. I think the market's going to turn. I think there's a lot of bridge debt coming available that people are going to have to be forced to sell. They can't refinance because the NOI that they've done over the last year with the high interest rates has eaten a lot of their cash flow up. And so I think you're going to see a lot of properties come on the market within the next year or so.
Do you think that average guys like you and I are going to have an opportunity and to buy those? And here's why I ask, because if you remember 6 months ago when that Houston deal blew up, that 3,000 right. units, mm-hmm. Freddie was the lender on that. Freddie called up an inside operator and said, hey, we have this deal. We know you're a good operator. We know you're an experienced operator. We'll sell this to you at a discount. How much insider trading do you think is going to go on versus how many of those deals are actually going to hit the market for average investors like you and I?
So I think it comes down to your broker relations. If you've got a good relationship with some good brokers in the markets, they're going to bring you deals if they know that you can close the deals. I don't think you need to be an institutional buyer to get all the deals. Now there'll probably be some inside trade, like you said, before they even hit the market. But I think there's still going to be some C class, B class deals that the institutional buyers aren't going to be interested in. They're going to be in, the A class, B plus class. taking those larger deals down. I still just think there's going to be some C-class properties that are going to be available for us.
Yeah. You like value add?
I do.
Where's your skill set in value add?
I love the asset management, overseeing the construction, and pushing the equity into the renovations, thinking outside the box. That's the thing with, anybody can buy an apartment complex, and but you got to run a business plan. It's running a business, and if you can't run that business plan and do what you say you're going to do to increase the NOI, to return the money to your investors, you're just not going to get repeat investors. So that's the name of our brand. BAB Investments actually stands for Badass Brothers. I know my brother's bald, and everybody thinks it's bald and beautiful, but it's not. It's Badass Brothers. So we kind of leave that in,
I'm gonna have to remember that when I have them on. Hey, so what do you think the top 3 things? So we know in asset management, there's a lot that you need to pay attention to make sure everybody else is doing what they're doing. What are the top 3 to 5 KPIs, those key performance indicators that you pay attention to a lot that really make sense?
So we keep an eye on our property management's traffic. We want to know, what kind of traffic they're bringing into the place. And if they're not, then what are we doing with our marketing and advertising to get the traffic to come to that particular unit? On our weekly calls, that's one of the key indicators that I look at pretty strongly. And if they're not having the traffic, what can we do to fix it? The occupancy, of course, if we can bring a manager in that can get above a 90% occupancy, then how hard are we pushing those rents? If we can keep it, if it's dropping into the, mid 80s, high 80s, maybe we're not, we can get it up to the 90, but we need to make sure that how hard are we pushing those rents? So that's what I look at. Like on one of our properties right now, we're at a 95% occupancy, and I'm like, well, how hard are we pushing the rents? And there's a lot of rent comps and market analysis that I've done. I was like, well, our competition down the street's doing a little bit better. And so I think we can push a little harder. It might drop the occupancy a little bit, but that's one of the key indicators that I look at. And everybody wants this high occupancy, but maybe you're not pushing the rents hard enough. If you have so much high occupancy, maybe if you push a little harder, it might drop the occupancy a little bit. We can get higher rents. So that's one of the things that I look at.
Nice. What when you're doing upgrades on units and you're doing unit turns, where do you think you're getting your best return from? What are you actually doing to a unit that people are kind of giving them a wow factor, or they're going to have a better experience if they rent from you?
So it just depends on what class of property you're looking at. So on a C-class property, you don't want to, of course, go in with granite and that kind of stuff into there, but maybe some of the units you do. And just playing around with it, just depending on the neighborhood and where you're at. But I think when I walk into a unit, I just want to see there's certain contractors that have a different touch. And I mean by that is that I know being an asset manager, and I can renovate and do sheetrock and hang framing and the paint, and I just know the touch of it. You can see their work basically if they're a good contractor or not. And so I think when you walk into a unit, you can basically see, as I can, is to see if it was a very good, basically the work of a contractor. Did he do the flooring right? Did he do the paint texture right? Did it just slob? There's a couple of units that we walked into after our contractors, and they had paint on the light switches, on the fixtures. It's just not, that's the stuff that tenants is going to see. It's the shoddy work. And so we try to keep our contractors to a higher level, and so if they know that right off the bat, and they know that we're going to go inspect the unit right after them, so they know that they're not going to be able to do that. So, and it's hard to find good help right now, and so we just try to hold them to a different level. And I think when a tenant goes in there and they see that, is there scratches on the appliances, or that they just moved in, brand new appliances, that kind of stuff, I think the tenant's going to see that.
Yeah. Hey, when you made a comment about hard to find new help, do you think that it's still a struggle to find good craftsmen, good labor in this market?
I would say yes and no. I think that if you pay them right, then I think they're going to, that's the thing about it. It's just, you got to keep your payroll there. You got to keep, our maintenance guy, you know, you're going to get what you pay for right now. And there's just so much competition, and everybody's moving in, and everyone's hiring, right? Because everyone's in the same predicament as we are. So I think it's a matter of, our motto is, you know, your people will stay if you treat them right. And when you treat them right, it's not just about pay either. A simple thank you will go a long ways. And we haven't had a whole lot of turnover with this property since we had our new property management come in. And so we take care of them, you know, just a little small gifts for Christmas, that kind of stuff. A Starbucks coffee when we go to visit the property goes a long ways with our property management. So, yeah. But I think the trades is going to be a little bit difficult now. Finding good plumbers, electricians. I mean, let's just get real. It's the generation now. They just don't want to do that kind of work. They want to be in the tech world. And I think over the next, you know, 5-10 years in the multifamily world, it's going to be a little bit difficult to find good trades to come in and do good work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, some of it's become a lost art. You know, I know when we were younger that, you know, people went into the trades, and you know, today for somebody with so much opportunity in social media, or, you know, tech, crypto, all the other places people can make money, you're not seeing the younger generation go to be a plumber or electrician, or, you know,
HVAC's got a huge one too.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know. So what are you working on now? Why should people give you a call?
So right now we're working on a 39 unit motel conversion again here in Rock Springs. We've got a huge, like I said, the Toronto mines are expanding. There's a huge influx of contractors that are going to be coming in our way. We're talking like 5,000 to 6,000 contractors for a town that's 30,000 people. So we're buying these motels, and we're kind of converting them over to a long-term apartment. And so Bill Gates is building a $5 billion nuclear power plant 80 miles from us, and they don't have no housing for that. So we're trying to take advantage of right now of buying some stuff local here. And so, if anyone's interested in the Wyoming market, just reach out at babinvestments.org. My brother's contact information's on there, mine's on there, and get a hold of us, and we'd love to have a chat.
Perfect. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. One last question. What's the best book you've ever read?
So when I first started out, I wasn't much of a reader, but just like anyone, Rich Dad, Poor Dad probably got the start of my career of thinking outside the box with assets and getting my son. So I love Robert Kiyosaki, and I promote anything that he does. So,
yeah, good for you. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Look forward to connecting with your brother. I know that you'll do that for us, and we'll have him on next year and see where you guys are at with these hotel conversions then. So, hey, everybody, thanks for being here. I hope you're having a great December, great holiday season. We will be here next Saturday again at 10 a.m. and look forward to seeing you then. Take care.